express or how to interpret or how to write about this thing. I can write about it and you can write about it, but what's the difference between me and you in the quality of writing? You give the exact meaning to the reader, but for me, for example, I just walk around to say something and then make the reader fuzzy. You know about fuzzy? Fuzzy means it's not true or not false. In between.
You cannot say this.
In between. Have you learned anything about fuzzy? No.
It's just self-learning, some self-learning.
Self-learning. We're doing a lot of self-learning. Fuzzy logic, yes.
0, 1 is X.
You can find it on the controller on the washing machines.
Yes, washing machines. Yes,
When we had electricity before, but now we don't have electricity anymore, so we don't have anything to deal with washing machine. Okay, it's not our. But for anybody who wants to learn about fuzzy, there is a subject in level 5th level in software engineering or IT. No faculty. They study this subject the last year. And fuzzy can be used in many different topics. You can utilize it. It is a kind of artificial intelligence also.
Simulation.
It is a different thing. It is not crisp logic. Crisp logic that says this is 0 and this is 1, this is white and this is black. But in the reality, it is not like this. You don't have 100% white or 100% black. You have something in between. You have to be flexible in your scaling. For example, if you say that the people who are below 160 cm are short people, okay? And you say also people who are over 170 cm are tall people. So how about the people between them? Is 161 short or tall? It is short in, for example, 90%. And also he is tall in just 100%. 10%. So this is the way of thinking in fuzzy logic. You give weights to the values. You weight them. Okay? So qualitative data written field notes can be written field notes. If you go to any field and just observe what they are doing and you write some notes, or audio recordings, conversations, video recordings of activities, GRE recordings of activities, thoughts. Maybe if you are active in writing your diaries every day. I couldn't do this thing anyway. I tried with myself many times. And I bought many diaries every year. I said, okay, this year I'm quite free, so I will write every day some kind of diaries. And then I left it blank. Write 1 day or 2 days, and then left it blank. But some people, they write it every day. So some families also, they record their activities for the children, for their routine activities, when they go, when they come back, or what they are doing, about their thoughts. Qualitative data gives information on thoughts, views, interpretations, priorities, importance, process, practice, intended effects of actions, feelings, experiences. So all these kinds of data can be considered quantitative data. because you cannot measure them clearly. You cannot measure your feeling. You cannot say that your experience in this thing is, you give it a number or scale. Okay, but you can write about it. So about the analysis, we just now talk about the qualitative method. How we are going to analyze methods. As we have seen in the previous slides, we said first we need to do data reduction. And after that, data display. And after that, data, we draw the conclusions. Okay? So let's see here. We have open coding. So the first step in data analysis is the coding. We have different kinds of coding. Here in these slides, it gives some details about the coding. Okay? Because we talked about coding in the data reduction, if you remember. Remember or focus? Steps. We said steps. This is after one classes. Okay, and in reduction, we have coding and what? Visualization. So in this coding, here we give some details, open coding, systematic coding, different. Open coding is field coding. There is no system, there is no procedures. But systematic coding, it is based on system for coding. And the last one is affinity. Diagram. Have you seen this affinity before that? If you study fuzzy logic, you will find what we mean by affinity. Okay, so let's see what we mean by open coding. Open coding treats data as answers to open-ended questions. From the word open relates with open-ended questions. So if you go to interview, observe something or record video, or so try to write this data as an answer to open-ended question. Ask data specific questions. Assign codes for answers. So you need to draw some questions by yourself. As an analyst, you need to ask some questions from the answers, because you get the answers, you have the answers, you have the explanation, you have the description. So from this description, or you can draw some or ask some specific questions. It is the way from going back to front. It is not the way going from front to back, asking questions and get the answers. You have the answers, you have the description, you have everything, okay? But you need to draw some questions. Why? Because we need to assign codes for answers based on the questions and record some theoretical notes. This is analysis, to analyze the data, you analyze the description that you have. Example, we have calendar routines. Calendar, diary of the day. Families were interviewed about their calendar routines. What calendars they had? If they have some calendars, okay? Where they kept their calendars. What types of events they record. Well, this is just an example. So, from written notes, they write, always they write some notes, and sometimes they do audio recordings. So, step one, translate field notes. This is field notes. In the field, or in the place you do the interview, you don't have time to write in your notebook or in the computer. You just write some notes like this. Yes, it's like this. This is the words. The words, the answers. Please study interview checklist. And then you can move it to computer, and this is optional. You can do it and you cannot do it. But it is good for organizing things. Okay. Step 2. List questions or focal points. Where do families keep their calendars? What uses do they have for their calendars? What adds to the calendars? When do people check the calendars? You may end up adding to this list as you go through your data. So you have the data, you have the written notes of this family, and you have audio recordings. So from this data, you get these questions, you draw these questions, which is the first step. We say the steps, first ask data specific questions. You have the data, you have the recordings of voice, and you have also the written notes in their diaries. Okay? So ask data specific questions like these questions. Where do families keep their calendars? What uses do they have for their calendars? Who adds to the calendars? When do people check the calendars? And all these kinds of questions. You can ask as many questions as you want. Step 3, go through data and ask question. This is the data. Where do families keep their calendars, which is the first question. This is a kind of diaries, written notes. Okay? So go through this and try to find answers about where do families keep their calendars. Kitchen. Kitchen. See? So the mother is the one who writes the calendars, the notes, the diaries. You see? Calendar locations, kitchen. And then gives it a code. Here. Child's room, also, from the reading of these things. Gives an answer also that they keep the calendars also in the child's room, because some families, they record everything about their child to show them in the future what they were doing, how they were playing, how they were raising. But for us, just teach them. Make them silence. If they try to play or do anything that's annoying, we think about ourselves only. We don't think about them. And when they grow up, they will become like us. Exactly. They will do the same thing with their children. And continues. We don't drink this cold water. You don't want to?
This is not
from the toilet.
It is not cold. It's not enough.
This is instead of the fan. So, just answer the question and gives some codes. Continue for the remaining questions, which are what uses do they have for their calendars, who adds to the calendars. Could just go through the diary, the notes that they wrote, or maybe through the video or audio recordings. The result, list of codes. Because we start here doing the codings. So we will get the list of codes. Frequency of each code. How many times this code is frequent?
When you say the 6, what is the frequency table?
A sense of the importance of each code. Each code. Frequency, does it mean importance?
No.
It depends. Sometimes frequency is important, and sometimes it's not good. So it depends on the situation. But this is the way how they conclude, or how they draw the conclusions from the data. They go like this. So this is what we mean by the coding. Okay. Pictures were taken of family calendars. This is just a picture from the family calendars. Just think. Do we do like this? This is the day of the month. They have electricity. They have pure water in the house.
Yes. Extra job.
They have everything, so they have time to do this. They have time to think about this, but we don't. They have salaries.
We don't have anything.
معلش تكتبوا في الكلام.
من اللي خلانا نخرج الغرب يا أخوتي؟ نروح في المروحة نخرج الغرب.
Step 1 list questions. What type of events on the calendar? Who are the events for? What other markings are made on the calendar? You may end up just make some questions. So this is example of calendar contents. This is another calendar, another example. The first example was about calendar which is in written notes and recordings. This is pictures. So go through data and ask questions. What types of events are on the calendar? Can you see anything? Any kind of events? Family pictures? Potatoes. Eat. Thanksgiving Day. You know about Thanksgiving? If you are watching NBC2, then you will see everything about Thanksgiving. It's a kind of anniversary. Types of events FO, which is family outing, going out. Family pictures. What is this?